Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We'll get to the JRC in a moment. First, a couple disclaimers, as well as the trigger warnings. If you're not familiar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, pertinent links are going to be there in the description box for you. We have Autistic Hoya's massive archive. Has just about everything you would want to know in regards to the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center in regards to this case. We have the article written by Neuroclastic, the one where they surveyed over 800 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. Yes, it is the same one that the JRC threatened Neuroclastic over with a defamation lawsuit. They did not remove the article from the website. Sorry, allergies. Obviously, Neuroclastic said no. It's still on their website now. Please read the article and share it on all your social media. We do have linked in there their GoFundMe as well in case the JRC ever sees through with their threat, because unlike them, unfortunately, we do not have access to unlimited streams of money. Especially right now. That would be really nice because I'd be getting hell out of here. It's getting more bleak by the day, folks. More bleak by the day. Alright. Also, folks, to the trigger warnings. When we talk about places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips or surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please make sure to utilize the headphones. Also, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity and speak on dark subjects. If your child 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously, parental supervision is very much advised. A brief recap to the other day's videos. We essentially had the FDA completely misconstrue everything in regards to why the FDA made the ruling they did when they passed the final rule ban of the GED device back in 2020. Literally restricting it down to because we are concerned about those who cannot communicate possible adversives. We're banning the device, which is not what happened at all. That was one of multiple reasons as to why the final ban was passed, including such things as ER documentation in regards to the risks that have already manifested themselves in reality in the form of second and third degree burns, in particular with Andre McCollum's, the fact that they literally shocked him into a 2-month catatonic coma, and the loss of different feeling in different parts of the body where they had struck the electrodes, also referenced in the ER documents, backed up with ER photographs of the injuries, as well as the video surveillance tape of what happened to Andre McCollum's itself. But the JRC mentioned none of this. Who's surprised, right? Who's surprised? And then they try to see, but then you admitted that there was no other treatment and that there'll just be bone. No, they didn't. They provided several examples of individuals who actually did very well on tailored to treatment programs because they were more resistant to the more mainstream. So sometimes you do have to cobble something completely unique to the individual. They had to do it with me. So, and very obviously it works, right? I mean, I wouldn't be here otherwise. At least not in the capacity that I am now. But be prepared, we're about to get gaslit again. We are about to be lied to again. We're about to endure some absolute mind-numbing, migraine-inducing run-on sentences and a level of word salad that would make Elaine Brednahoff blush in shame. So, let's get to it, shall we? Alright, we're going to comment 6. We're going to bust it up in halves because it's just easier. ESD treatment provides demonstrable, meaningful, long-lasting results. Your very headliner there is a lie. That is a lie. And you, JRC, have not produced any documentation whatsoever in any way, shape, or form that can prove that there is actual, meaningful, long-lasting results due to the ESD treatment. You cannot infer it even from the clinical study that you produced because you did not check back with the individuals that were a part of that study after they were no longer on the device. This is another example of just trust me bro evidence. And I'm sorry, not in this day and age. It's evidence or you're lying. Okay? Nobody has time for your opinions. But yeah, you have not demonstrated whatsoever that there is any meaningful, long-lasting results due to the treatment of the GED. But they do. If the person that's quote unquote doing better with the device has to continue to stay on the device in regards to stopping behaviors, you are demonstrating the exact opposite, JRC. The exact opposite. You have given no data to us whatsoever in regards to those who were faded off the device with any reach back to them in regards to whether they are still successful without the device and whether those behaviors stayed at bay or not. You can't prove it, you can't call it demonstrable. One moment, folks, I'll be right back.
Cleopatra at this time, it looks like she's already proven herself. Good arrow of a father, potential ruler, someone who's smart, someone who's well.
My name is Sarah. I'm from Springfield Tenants United. We're the citywide tenant union, and we're going around talking to voters about the election today. It's really difficult. Awesome. Did you get a chance to cast your vote today? No. I don't drive, so okay. Well, if you'd like to know who we are, we're the citywide tenant union. We are fighting for affordable housing and for safe housing for all Springfield tenants. And some of the city council members value those things that we value, and some don't. So you can at least read up on who your elected officials are.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
An important moment that also affected the young Cleopatra.
It's at this time when Solomon's throne gets thrown back that we start to see Cleopatra more clearly. She starts to associate herself with her mother, Cleopatra, or potential mother.
Sorry for that interruption, folks. That was an individual who's part of more local politics in regards to tenants' rights in affordable housing, which is all very, very important, of course, but my primary concern is due to people with disabilities right now, and the fact that Medicaid's on the chopping block, and that's pretty much between that and the JRC what has pretty much monopolized all of my time every day from the moment I open my eyes, except for when I'm kicking my own ass by means of about 3.5 hours of exercise. So, let me get back to what we were just speaking about a moment ago. The JRC has not in any way, shape, or form demonstrated that in regards to the device, it actually has any meaningful or long-lasting results. If an individual has to continue to stay on the device and continue to be hurt and tortured with said device to stop said behaviors, what that tells me is, in actuality, there is no demonstrable, meaningful, long-lasting results. If you have to keep doing it, that means the effects are extremely temporary. Hence why the constant reapplication. In regards to my medicine over there, it helps me immensely. It has given me back control over my own mind, yes. But I would not tell you that it is long-lasting. The reason why is I have to continue to take it. Okay? Does it provide wonderful change? Absolutely. If I stop taking those pills, will the overwhelming cripple anxiety come back and get me near to where I'm paralyzed all over again? Yes. So, that would not be long-lasting or meaningful. It's meaningful in the short term, which is why I continue to take the medicine, so I continue to hold on to my sanity. For the change to continue, you see where I'm going with this, right? Even with that being said, I would rather continue to deal with the minor inconveniences to taking that medication to being forced on a human shock collar. I'm pretty sure that everybody would agree in regards to that, right? Alright, so out the gate we're already talking absolute nonsense, lies, and bullshit. So let's continue, shall we? The FDA acknowledges that available data and information suggests that some individuals subject to ESDs exhibit an immediate reduction or cessation of targeted behavior, and further acknowledges interruption and suppression of target behaviors with ESD treatment. And here's where I explain how that works again, JRC. When you inflict sudden and out of nowhere violence upon my person, then whatever I am doing in that moment is probably going to cease. Okay? Now, does that mean that I should, make my brother, the second roommate, put him where the weight room is, rent-free, so that whenever it gets close to me having a meltdown, he can come out here and punch me in the face to stop the behavior? No, because that's insane. Alright? You see how that works, JRC? The idea by physically, knowingly causing these kids immense and intense physical pain because it will stop a behavior that they're getting ready to have does not justify you constantly inflicting intense, immense pain on them. What is it here that we're not getting? What is it that we're not understanding here? It is wrong to stop somebody else from having a behavior by inflicting violence upon them. It doesn't matter whether it stops the behavior or not. It is an absolute violation of their human and civil rights. Okay? What is there not to get here? Yes, sudden violence out of nowhere will stop a behavior. That does not mean that people like me should have someone inflict violence upon us every time we're getting ready to have a behavior. You know what it's called? It's called abuse. And that is the sort of thing that gets you locked up around here. Why does this even have to be explained? No, honestly, why does this have to continue to be explained to them? It's very simple. You don't get to abuse me with absolute power and impunity, and then justify it but saying, but it stops my behaviors. Okay? Can we please talk about this logically here? Even the idea, but it will stop you from causing injuries to yourself by switching them out for injuries that you cause me instead of me causing me. Again, what is there not to get here? In either scenario, the individual is still being abused. You're just switching out abusers. And there's no such thing as the better abuser in medicine. Alright? This isn't necessary evil territory here. This isn't stealing on behalf of your starving family.
The exiled Cleopatra was keen to answer the summons.
I really don't understand why the JRC can't understand these very, very basic, logical facts here. Okay? Alright. We're going to read the next sentence here. We'll go ahead and cut out till the next one. Similarly, it acknowledges that there are JRC patients who are successfully faded from ESD treatment. Where did they say that, JRC? What document? What paragraph? No, I'm all for being proved wrong, if you can. Where did the FDA say that there were folks successfully faded from ESD treatment? The fact of the matter is, JRC, they did not at any point stress that at all. At all. They mentioned in reference to what you have said that there have been folks successfully faded off of the ESD treatment, and then afterwards saying, but we have no evidence from the JRC that actually proves that, because the JRC very obviously does not believe in follow-up. That is what the FDA said.
So,
Do you all ever get tired of lying?
the actuality of the cold story.
And not just lying. It's one thing to lie your little head off. It's another to sit there and bald-faced lie when you know we have literally all the receipts, including what was said in the final rule. The original proposed banning of the GED device, among multiple other things. So why do you do it? Doesn't it get exhausting to copy and paste the same crap year after year, decade after decade?
How she did this, we don't know. It's assumed that she seduced him. Maybe that's the
Their
case.
lips are moving, right?
If that's really a big
Alright, folks, we're going to go ahead and close out for this one. We don't get very many views on this channel, and the few we do tend to get removed from time to time. So if you could, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Please, folks, don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time, and as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea absolutely do hope you have a good one. I'll see you all here in a few minutes. Bye-bye, everyone.
Cleopatra's coinage is quite interesting, and a lot of people like to